but then like 3 days from now, I think, oh, actually, I really want to know this. Just send me an email. I'll do my best to answer things where I can. Also, please bear with me as I reacquaint myself with tech. I have just come back from a year of mat leave, and this is the first time I have hosted a webinar in that time. And I'm realizing that there are things that I've definitely forgotten. Go ahead, Kieran.
I was just going to say, I don't know. Hi, everyone. But my name's Kieran. If you want to make me a co-host, Sarah,
Oh, now you're asking.
if you just click the more actions option in your view,
Mhm.
you should be able to make me a co-host, and then at least you can just focus on presenting, and then I'll watch out for any tech issues. If you can't find it, it's fine. But it's just an idea.
Can't find it, and we're not going to take up more of these lovely people's times that we need to do that, but that's something to note for future. So pre-departure information evening, bit of a welcome, some introductions, summer school overview, key dates and times, what to bring, what we'll kind of cover, a bit about food, what you can expect from us, but a bit about what we expect from you, some stuff on accessibility and inclusion, and then just time for anyone who has a question to ask a question. There's no such thing as a stupid question. So just if you're not sure about something, please just ask. This will take about 40 minutes, and then we'll have time at the end. Leave your camera off, leave your microphone off. I think you should be able to access the chat function. Yes, that should be active. And like I've said, we're recording this right through till the Q&A. So my name's Sarah. I am the main event lead. Then we have Joe, we have Kieran, we have Alex, and then we will have another person who is also a lead officer called Charlene. She will cover the overnight portion of the residential for me. Normally I would do it, but I've just said I've just come back from a year of maternity leave. I have a 1-year-old at home, and I'm just not ready to be away from her for 3 days yet. So I will just be there for the daytime portion, but on hand to deal with any crises and emergencies, which hopefully we have none of. At any point, everyone is DBS checked and can help with well-being or safeguarding concerns. So if you aren't sure of something, if you need something, let us know. The STEM team phone number is on the bottom of the screen just here. This will be your main phone number for the entire event. So again, if you have opted to nip to the toilet in the Students' Union, which is right next to where the refectory is for dinner, and somehow get a bit lost on the way back, you just call that number, someone will come and get you, you know. And you'll have a lanyard. That number will be on it. The number for security will be on it. But if you want to take that number, pop it in your phone now. That's also absolutely fine. I'm going to let Joe and Kieran and Alex introduce themselves before we move on to the next slide. Joe, do you want to go first?
Yeah, can do. So hi, my name's Jo. I'm a lecturer here at Food Science and Nutrition and also the outreach lead for the school. So I work very, very closely with Sarah. We've delivered this summer school now for quite a couple of years. So we know it works well. We know that the students enjoy it, and we're really looking forward to welcoming you in a couple of weeks' time.
Alex, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, sure. All right. Hi, everybody. My name's Alex. I've been at the university for almost 5 years now. I came in 2021. I did my undergraduate here, my master's, and now I'm a PhD student. I will be part of the ambassador team during the summer school. So the students will get the chance to meet me and my other team. If you have any questions at all about the course, about what uni life is like, please feel free to ask me questions. I'd be more than happy to help.
And Kieran.
Hi everyone, I'm Kieran. I'm an Educational Engagement Officer across STEM and the health sciences, so things like medicine and dentistry. And I mainly work with Sarah in the STEM team. This is my second year now of doing the food science summer school. And yeah, just here to say hello to you all because I'll be throughout the entire summer school, so there during the day and also doing the overnight portion of the residential as well. Lovely to meet you all.
So who else is going to be there? So we will have more student ambassadors. So Alex is one of 5 daytime ambassadors, and then there will be 7 overnight ambassadors. They're all current students at the University of Leeds. They'll all be in a green t-shirt, so they will be easily identifiable. They can help with pretty much everything. You will have been allocated a daytime ambassador, who is like your main point of contact during the day, and then you, in your halls of residence flat, you'll have a nighttime ambassador that will be your main point of contact for evenings. They're all super, super friendly. I did study at the University of Leeds, but that was in 2008. So if you have a burning question about studying at the University of Leeds, they're definitely more up to date on what's going on than I am. And they're all DBS checked, and you can approach them with any concerns that you have, or if you just need someone to have a bit of a chat with, if you're feeling a bit homesick or anything like that, they're all honestly so, so lovely, and you can just talk to them about anything. So the real aim of this summer school is to explore food science at a higher education. And Joe will cover a little bit of this as part of the pre-departure meeting, and to give some guidance on the many different career paths that studying food science or nutrition can lead to. It's also to give you a bit of an idea about what it's like to study at the University of Leeds, and kind of immerse you in that student experience. It's why we stay in the halls of residence. It's why we eat on campus. And just an overview of what it's like to be in our campus at that time. There'll also be an opportunity for you to find out more about like the support systems and extracurricular opportunities at the university. And then also it's just really nice to meet people who have a similar interest, who are thinking about studying the same thing. We recognise that this is a really niche subject. There's not going to be a massive group of students across the UK all with a burning desire to study food science and nutrition. So, you know, you really benefit from just chatting with your peers, finding out what they're interested in and what kind of pathways that they might go on to. And this is passing on to Jo now. This is one of her slides.
Just requested to take control.
Should have that now, Jo.
Fab, brilliant. Thank you, Sarah. Yes, so I just wanted to come in and introduce a little bit about food science and the degree courses that we offer here at the university, just to kind of think about, once you've come and done the summer school with us, thinking about what might be the next steps. So you might have heard about food science and nutrition in the media. So you might have heard about how we're trying to put insects into food, or how we're trying to grow meat in a laboratory. And please rest assured that we're not just crazy scientists that come up with these ideas and decide to just do them because they sound fun and a bit crazy. We actually we do benchmark everything that we do against the science. And I'll cover that in a couple of slides as to why actually we've started to look at some of these aspects of food. Why can't I seem to click the next? Down there. It's not seeming to let me go to the next slide, Sarah.
And it.
That. You might have also heard of us in from public health guidance, so that guidance around what it is that you should be eating, what quantities you should be eating, or you might have also heard of us in, next slide, in the media around how certain foods have been linked to certain illnesses. So if you were eating, for example, ultra processed food, how they're not very good for you, or how some foods might link to type 2 diabetes, or vice versa. You might have heard that eating some foods can be beneficial to us, or you might have heard about how we're creating new ways of making food. So there's a 3D printer for food, which is suggested to be the new air fryer in the next 10 years, and that everybody will have one of these in their kitchen. Now, what the media prints isn't always as accurate as we would like it to be. So although there's a lot of truth in some of the things that are coming out here, there are other things to it that we teach our students to be more critical about, and obviously understand what are the reasons behind this, rather than these shocking headlines. Next slide. So in food science at the moment, we are pretty much in an era of challenge. So we've had quite a lot of implications that have impacted the food and drink sector. So things like Brexit, COVID and the war has really shown us that although our food systems are robust, as soon as you start to shake something out of it, or something isn't available, they become really unstable. And so we really need to think about how we sustain that food the food stream so that everybody has access to those foods. The things like Brexit, COVID and the war have caused food inflation. So we are now in an era where food is more expensive, which means that when we're manufacturing it and when it comes to the supermarket, it is more expensive for the consumer to buy. We're also in an era where we're noticing a lot more nutritional and health problems. So we're seeing a lot more people with obesity and diabetes and so on. But also we're in an era where people are more aware of this and actually want to do better by eating more healthier foods. We're having to feed an expanding population. So we're the biggest that we've ever been on the planet Earth, which means that we have challenges around making sure that there's enough food available for everybody. But also we have a high population of aging adults. And they come, just like babies, they come with their own nutritional needs and necessities in terms of how they eat food. So that puts challenges on to the food sector in how you design foods that are appropriate for them. We face a lot of scrutiny and expectation. So again, through the media, they often will misrepresent information that's coming out there that will impact what people want us to do as a sector. And we, even though sometimes we rightfully, wrongfully have to, we have to be seen to be meeting some of those changes that are going on and be seen to be making a difference. As per every sector across the UK or across the world, we are needing to reduce our environmental impact, so that carbon footprint, and the food sector is one that does contribute a lot towards this, simply because we have to generate a lot of food because our role is to feed the world, and so we have to make sure that that food reaches the plate. So there's a lot of environmental impact that we are trying to reverse and trying to be better at, and that's where some of that research into putting insects, into looking at alternative meats is coming into play, and that's where that science is really scaffolded in terms of the decisions that we make. We also, like everything, want to make sure that we're ahead of the game, that we're exploring new sciences, that we're exploring areas where we could make improvements. So there's a lot of research at the moment around the gut microbiome and how food can interact with that. But there's also a lot around novel foods. So that's where insects could come into, how we can use AI within the system. And a lot of research, this has probably been going on for the last 15 years around that preventative aspect of illnesses through food consumptions rather than always opting for medications. And whilst doing this, we need to ensure global food security so that we're able to feed the world, and that food safety is at the centre of everything that we do. So just a very small challenge that we need to do within our sector. Yeah, next slide, please. So what is food science and nutrition? So essentially, it's a multidisciplinary subject which takes concepts, theories from core sciences, so hopefully sciences that some of you will be studying at school or that are very familiar with, so things like biology, chemistry, physics, maths, and we take those core concepts and we apply them to food, we apply them to food processing with the objective of trying to make a positive impact on human life. So we're very much an applied science subject. There's a lot of science that comes within what we do. Next slide, please. So at Leeds, we offer 3 core courses, so food science, nutrition, or a combination of both, which are food science and nutrition. And we offer them either at a bachelor's degree, so that would be a 3-year programme of study, or an integrated master's, so this would be a 4-year programme of study, so you have an additional year. The way that we deliver our teaching is through traditional lectures, but we also do seminars, tutorials, and workshops. And we do have a lot of practical laboratory work, and this can be based in our pilot kitchens, as it can be in a chemistry-based lab as well. So you will be doing things like titration, pipetting, working with chemicals, and so on. And there's a lot of project work. We're a Russell Group university, so what this means is there's a lot of the content that we teach is informed by our research, so we're quite ahead of the game in terms of what we teach our students, very up to date with the novelty that's going around. And I think one of the biggest things and attractive elements to Leeds is that we actually host the NAPIC Centre, which is the National Alternative Protein Innovation Centre. What this basically means is that all that innovative work that's going around alternative proteins is centred here at Leeds, and so a lot of our research focus on this, and that is reflected in our teaching as well. All the courses, whether you do a batch, oh, you can just go back, please. Sorry, not quite finished. All our courses, whether you are doing a bachelor's degrees or an integrated master's, the students have the opportunity to do an industry placement year, so they can have an additional year and go into placement in industry and get paid for that year, which I would highly advise. We have a lot of partnering industry that we work with that offer these opportunities to our students. Or you could opt to do a study abroad, so that could be a semester or a whole year where you go to a completely different country and do part of your degree over there. So we've had some students go to Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and that's really, really exciting as well. And our courses all include the option to do discovery modules. So that means that on top of the core modules that we offer, the students also have the option to do these additional modules that can be complete outside of our curriculum. So they could be things like languages, sports, psychology, whatever they want, and just kind of learn that something a little bit different. And then the final thing, just to add onto this slide, is that at Leeds and within food, we obviously offer subject-based degrees, and it's about providing the knowledge that our student needs. But actually what we recognise is that we really need to ensure that our students are career ready and that they also have the skills that allow them to do their careers that they would like to do afterwards. And so we really make sure that our programmes are a combination of subject-based degrees, but also skill development as well. Next slide. So if you were to come and study here at Food Science, whether you opt to do a food science and nutrition or a food science and nutrition degree, that first year is a common year for all three programmes, whether this again is at a bachelor's or an integrated master's level. And the idea is that we really want to make sure that all our students have that foundational year, that they all have the same sets of skills and knowledge to then allow them to go into their specified areas of expertise. So that first year is very common, and that gives the students the option that you may apply, for example, to do food science and nutrition, and actually whilst you're doing that programme, realise that you actually prefer food science or you actually prefer nutrition, because maybe you hadn't quite understood the difference between the two. And so our students have the opportunity at the end of that first year to move on to the different courses if they feel like actually their preference has shifted. If you opt to do a food science degree, this really focuses from second year onwards at understanding the physical and chemical properties of the food composition. So how do those raw ingredients combine together to make those products that we see in the supermarket and that we eat? And so there's a lot of things around food design principles, novel technologies, food product development. So it's really looking at that processing side of things. The nutritional degree looks more at understanding the chemistry and biological principles. So it's more looking at how once you've consumed the food, what happens once they are in the body. And that can give us information about how we can develop nutritional policies and interventions that can kind of help them navigate what the guidance is to the public in terms of what they eat. So things like the free school meals in primary schools, that was very much developed within our school, and it's through the research of understanding what children need nutritionally that can then influence those policies that come out of it. And then if you opted for a food science and nutrition degree, then you're getting a little bit of both of those topics together. Next slide, please. So in terms of the admissions for our courses, I've put here what the grades are, the required grades for coming in here to study at Leeds, obviously with the difference between the bachelor's degree and the integrated master's. I think the key thing to remember here is, and most of you will have known this anyway through putting in your application to the summer school, is that we do require that you have 2 science A-level subjects, and that one of them has to be a core science subject. So it has to be something like biology, chemistry, physics, and maths. The second one could be a more related subject, so geography, psychology, sociology, the WJEC level 3 diploma for those of you that have been doing that. So there are admissions requirements. We are very much science based, and hence why we need those core sciences to be visible on your application. Next slide, please. So just thinking about, Sarah touched on this briefly, about the range of career opportunities that there are for you. So this slide I've put together, I've been tracking some of our students over the past probably 10 odd years now and looking at the different roles that they go into in the different companies. And so these are all roles and companies that our students have gone into following studying the food science degree with us. So you can see that there are some really big really well-known companies on here. So things like Tesco's, Asda, Aunt Bessie, so brands that you probably recognise, as there might be some that aren't as known to you, but are still very, very big. So like the Two Sisters, GSK, Dr. Oetker, but also some of them also go into much smaller companies. I think the thing to really take away from this slide is that there's a real vast opportunity for students in terms of the careers that are available to you after following a degree in food science or nutrition. Globally, we're one of the largest employers, and we're one of the only employers at the moment where you're not actually hearing about a lot of redundancies. If anything, we're desperate for people to come in and work in our sector. For examples that I showed earlier on the slides, there's a real demand for food scientists to come in. So that actually means that there's real job security and great wages that can come with this. I think what's also really nice about looking at a career within food science or nutrition is that there's a job that fits everybody. So if you like being in a lab, there are lab jobs. If you like to be on your feet in a kitchen, there are kitchen jobs. If you like to be working with people, there are more people-faced jobs. So there could be a sensory scientist, or you could be working in the supermarket, working with consumers or working with your suppliers, as there can be data analysis jobs, engineering jobs, designing the manufacturing equipment and so on, packaging design, there's all sorts. And I think what's really nice about the sector is that if you then get bored in one of those roles, there's a real opportunity to shift into a different role. So if you did a biomedical degree, for example, the main end of job role is working in a lab. But if you get bored of working in the lab, there's not really that much opportunity to move around. But within the food sector, you could then jump into a consumer-facing job, or you could jump into a desk-based job. And there's so much more opportunity within it. And we offer opportunity both with the possibility to travel, as food is everywhere. There are jobs across the globe that you can go to, but there are also a lot of opportunity within the UK. If you just go on to the next slide, please, Sarah. So it's exactly the same slide, but here it's just looking at the employment opportunities. Again, the same exercise that I've done, but here focusing on our nutrition students. And you can see that some of them have gone into education, some of them have gone directly into the food industry, following some of the same roles that were shown in the previous slide. But we do have some here that go more into that clinical nutrition, public health. I think what's been really interesting over the past few years to see as well is that students that have done a degree in food science and nutrition have also, some of them have branched out into the pet industry because there's a lot of correlation. And also myself, I did this, but went off into the cosmetics because, again, there's a lot of overlap between cosmetic development and food development. So there are opportunities outside the food sector as well by doing a degree in this. And I think that's my last slide. I'm going to pass you over
to Alex.
All right. Yep. So I speak from the student side. I've been here at the University of Leeds. I did my bachelor's here. I did my master's here. I think if there's one thing that I took away from my experience doing food science was that it was such a multidisciplinary degree. I think a lot of the time when you're in college, you might tend to compartmentalize biology, physics, chemistry as their own different sciences. But the moment that you step into the world of food science, you start to see everything blend together. I love this degree because it is so relevant to today's world. It's always a very innovative sector. And I think most importantly, it's an applied science. This is a science where you work with your hands. The things that you research are the things that you end up a lot of the time eating, right? And even the things that you might learn in biology, say, for example, something as simple as osmosis, they start to apply when you look at things like meat, right? Because at the end of the day, cells, whether or not they're animals or whether or not they're from plants, there's a lot of overlap between these subjects. So it's really not as niche as you might think about it. Food science is one of the largest employers, as Joe just said. And I think that there's so many different opportunities for you to get involved. I particularly enjoy Dragon's Den. So if anyone here has watched Dragon's Den, we hold a Dragon's Den style competition at the end of our third year or in our final year. And we actually get to prepare our own products and we get to pitch it and sell it to a bunch of supermarkets and food companies. So you can see in the slide, that was me and my group as we made orange peels. And it's a really fun experience. I don't think that a lot of degrees allow you to demonstrate what you've learned in such a practical way. And I think that's something that really draws me into food science. And I think there's also something else that I really enjoyed, which was that we have a lot of ability to do other things whilst we are studying food science. We have the ability to do discovery modules. So discovery modules are credits that are set aside for learning other things, and they can be whatever you want to choose. So for example, if you are keen on learning a little bit more about business, you could do a business module, or if you wanted to pick up another language, you can pick up a language module. I really appreciate that sort of flexibility that's provided within this degree that kind of allows me to explore little bits here and there, pick up some new skills that maybe I never got the chance to pick up when I was doing my A levels. I think that's something that I really appreciate about food science, just that kind of versatility. And to any of you right now who's kind of not really sure, I don't really fancy any particular science, I want to do a little bit of each of them, or maybe I'm a bit interested in business or psychology as well, I would say that food science is kind of like the perfect mix of all of that, because it's all the way down from the chain. Straight from when you've processed the food and you're making the food to, oh, well, now I've made it. How am I going to sell it? And now that I'm selling it, who is this going to affect? Or how can I make sure that this is a successful product that does some sort of good for the world? I think there are all of these little threads that connect together that really make it, the degree that I've stuck with for all of these years. So yeah, I enjoy it a lot.
Thanks for that, Alex. So the rest of this is just me talking you through basics of the actual practicalities of the residential. Getting here. We are a 20-minute walk from the train station. And I would actually say that's slow, like it's easily done in like 15 minutes. So there's just a little map here. This will be sent out to you in like a little pack with some more information. You'll have the map. But essentially when you follow the science for LGI, A&E, as daunting as that sounds, it's just we have a teaching hospital attached to us, so it's just right there. And then once you get there, you see a Cafe Nero and a Tesco Express. You cross the bridge over that ring road, and that is pretty much you. You are bang on at the School of Food Science and Nutrition. But if you get lost, we'll be there. Call us, someone will come and find you. Don't feel daft. This happens every year. I've had to send people far and wide. I've had to send people right the way around to the front of the university to pick up someone because they've just wandered on up the hill instead of taking the turn off at Tesco's. It happens. We've all been there. Like I said, I came to Leeds in 2008 when I was 18 to study at the University of Leeds. I am still here for my sins. I'm 36 now, and I reckon I still get lost on campus. It's huge. It's massive. It happens. Don't worry about it. If you have requested parking, then you'll have been booked into the multi-story that's here. I know this map points out the LGI multi-story. Don't try and park there. It's an absolute hellhole. You can't get parked in it. I have tried. It's just not possible. But if you are dropping someone off and you just need a bit of flexibility just for drop off, email me. All I need is your registration plate and your surname, and I can book you just a spot to drop someone off on the day for as many days as you want. Or there is free drop off or street parking round here. But if you have let me know that you're planning on driving to the residential and that you need a parking spot, a space has been booked for you in the orange zone, which is primarily around here, and then the School of Food Science is just right there. Key dates and times. You're arriving on the 30th of June, between 10:30 and 11. You'd come to the School of Food Science and Nutrition. I'll be there. Kieran will be there. Joe and Alex might be there. They might be in other places waiting for you to get to them somewhere else. You'll drop your bags with us. You'll sign in, and then you'll head off to the Food Science Common Room, where it will be a case of welcome, introduction, some lunch. It's a packed lunch, icebreakers, making signs for your bedroom door, and just getting to know each other as a group before we really get stuck into the activities, which will be from around about 2ish till 4. And then at 4 o'clock, we'll get you up to your accommodation. We'll get you checked in. There'll be some free time. We'll have dinner. And then we will be doing VR headsets. And for anyone who just feels really uncomfortable with a VR headset on, me, there'll be board games and jigsaw puzzles and other things that you can do. I don't like that idea that I can't see what I'm doing and other people can see what I'm doing. It just makes me feel very wary. On the 1st of July, we've got breakfast at the refectory. And then it is a day that is a mix of lectures, lab activities. We've got some lunch, campus tour, some more lab activities, your dinner, then a quiz. There is a prize for the best quiz team, and everyone in the team will get a prize. So if you're particularly competitive, again, like me, I'd be sizing up people on day off to be in my quiz team so that I could win a mug at the end. They are good University of Leeds mugs. They are nice mugs. Then we've got breakfast, lab activities, and a lecture. Then we'll do like a VR industry trip that Joe has organised through Arla. There'll be an opportunity to speak to quite a lot of people from industry, because we've got quite a lot of people coming. They're all super keen to meet other people who are interested in working in food science and nutrition. And there'll be a chance to speak to students, to find out a bit about admissions, to talk to people who are maybe in disability services or just other areas of the university where you might just want to know a little bit more about. We'll have some people from the library that you can have a chat with about accessing library services. So just an opportunity for you to find out a bit more about the different types of support and things that are on offer. And then we will do a reflection, we will evaluate stuff, and we'll give out the prizes and say goodbye and send you all on your way. So what to bring? Like, you're going to need clothes, right? It is the summer. Leeds weather is hit and miss. We all live in the UK, so you might want to bring something that's appropriate for really warm weather, but also it never hurts to have like a jacket or a hoodie. Please bring some toiletries. We will have spares, but like bring what you need. We'll have menstrual products available. We'll have spare deodorants. We'll have spare shower gel should anyone forget stuff. Bring your phone chargers. Bring a power pack. If you forget your phone charger, we'll have a phone charger, but bring them. Something for free time. Like, if you're not a real social person and you don't want to sit with people in the evenings and you'd rather just be in your room reading a book, that's okay. Bring a book. You can do that. That's totally fine. Bring some non-perishable snacks. There will be snacks. I have crisps, biscuits, probably sweets, unhealthy things in general with me. But if you've got like a particular snack that you really like, bring that. Just don't bring anything that's going to go off or that needs to be in a fridge, because we won't have access to places to store them. There's loads of fountains available across campus, so bring a reusable water bottle. If you need any medication, please bring it with you. Dress them for the lab. So this is really important, and I will send around a proper lab code of conduct next week when I send out a bit more information and put this all in like a pack for you. But your arms and legs need to be as covered as possible in the lab. So no skirts, no shorts, short sleeve tops, shorts, vest tops. We had a guy one year who couldn't take part in an activity because he'd only brought shorts with him for the whole entire thing, even though we'd said you need trousers for the lab. There is one of the labs where this is really, really strict. And if your arms and legs aren't covered, you will not be able to take part in the vitamin C titration. So you need to make sure that you've got appropriate clothes for that day. No open-toed shoes, sandals, flip-flops. It is a working lab. Think about the kind of things that you have to dress for if you're in like the technology lab in school or like the food tech room in school. Yeah, you need to have closed-toed shoes. You need to be practical and be comfortable. You have to tie your hair up and you'll have to put on a hairnet if you want to take part in activities. And there will also be beard nets. And the same with like you more jewelry, you can have necklaces, rings, and all that kind of stuff about you for the rest of the residential. But when you're in the lab, you will have to take them off. So think about where you're going to store that. Jo has some really, really stunning white lab coats and hairnets that she'll give to everyone. Embrace it. Everyone will be wearing them. You'll all look lovely. I'll wear it too. Kieran will have one on as well. don't bring valuables in the sense that like we don't have anywhere that we can say that they're definitely securely stored. So if you do bring stuff, it will be your responsibility. Please don't bring alcohol or any illegal substances. I'm sure you absolutely wouldn't, and I hope this isn't turning into a list of inspiration, but just use are all under 18, don't bring them. Don't bring large amounts of food or drink or perishable food. We will provide all your meals, we'll provide all refreshments. There will be snacks. There'll also be opportunities to go to the co-op that's on campus, if you want to buy snacks for yourself. So there are opportunities to buy stuff here. And yeah, just, no bikes, skateboard, scooters, inline or roller skates. It's a big campus, but it's not that big. You can definitely get around it just, without any of those things. What else? So, right, so I want to talk through this because I was a really fussy eater as a teenager. And I don't want anyone to be put off coming to this if there is food that they don't want to eat or food that they would particularly eat. So this is the plan for Tuesday. It is packed lunches. There will be sandwiches, a variety of sandwiches. We will have meat sandwiches. We will have vegan sandwiches. We will have veggie sandwiches. We will have halal sandwiches. We will have all sandwiches appropriate to what you have told us about on your confirmation forms. There will be crisps, there will be fruit, there will be water, there'll be fizzy juice. Dinner is going to be a make your own burrito bowl. It's everything that's on the screen. And I'm going to show you Wednesday and Thursday too. Now, the reason I'm showing you what there is on offer and what the plan is because if you really are looking at this thinking, I absolutely would not in a million years want to eat a burrito bowl. I can't think of anything worse. Just drop me a message and then I can speak to the team at Refectory and make sure that there is appropriate food for you that you would want to eat when you arrive. The same for the Wednesday night, if it's not that you've got like a serious allergy or an intolerance, anything like that, if it's just not for you, that's totally fine. I'd rather know in advance so I can plan in advance instead of poor Kieran on the night having to deal with people and figure out where he's going to get food from. It's better to be prepared. And then Thursday is the fun lunch. I organised that. It's pizza. But again, if you don't like pizza, just say and we'll get something else in. Because to be quite honest, I didn't try pizza till I was 21 because I just thought the idea of tomatoes on bread with cheese sounded horrendous. How wrong I was. Oh, my mouse is froze. There we go. But yeah, like anything you're concerned about, the whole point of this is just to say, if you're worried, speak to us and we can put appropriate accommodations in place for anything. In terms of expectations, what we expect from you, just follow the code of conduct, keep your phone away during the sessions. You're there to learn, you're there to get involved. Like, fair enough, like if it's your parent or your carer or like a big thing is happening, take the call, but just don't just be on your phone like on TikTok. Or do people even use TikTok anymore? I could be really old. There could be a new thing. Telegram, that's a thing. But yeah, just give it your full attention. Positive attitude. Sometimes bits of learning can be difficult, but you've chosen to come. We turned loads of people down for this. We had 157 applications. You are part of the select few. So just really try and get the absolute most out of it for yourself. And like if you're having any issues, just tell someone, tell me, tell Joe, tell Alex, tell Kieran, tell Charlene, tell the ambassador for your group, tell one of the lab staff, tell one of your friends that's in your group, and then ask them to tell us. But just if you're not having a great time, talk to someone about it. Like in the past, we've had people who just have got really homesick and wanted to go home, and we've been able to speak to their parents, we've been able to arrange that. There's no problem too big or too small that we can't figure out together as part of this. You can expect from us an informative and varied program that is aimed to help you think about your future and your career and just ultimately help you make that really tough decision in year 13 about what you want to do and where you want to do it, because that's a really big decision. Like that's a massive thing to decide at age 17, 18. We are friendly, we are inclusive, we are supportive. I really hope that I've got that message across during this. We are on hand for any issues and we will deal with anything as swiftly and professionally as we are alerted to it. You know, I've asked everyone about like needs as part of the confirmation form. But if you're taking part in this now and you think, oh, do you know what? I could use some printed resources, or I need regular breaks, or I like a quiet space to eat in. Just say, totally fine. We can make it work. But just let us know. The same for disabilities, you know, anything like that. It's all covered on the slide. But if there's something that you're now thinking, oh, I wish I'd said that on the form, just get in touch with me or Kieran. You've got both of our email addresses, and we will do what we can. The same with dietary requirements. We've asked this, but you know, if you're concerned at all, message. We have prayer spaces, multi-faith spaces available on campus. If you need to go somewhere to pray, just give us enough notice to get you there, so that we can facilitate that. But it is totally doable. It's all factored in to the residential. It's part of the risk assessment, in terms of like having students go off and become part of smaller groups or not be part of the big group. And yeah, just if you haven't already, just let us know about any additional requirements. We are getting to the end of this. Few social media accounts you might like to follow before you come here. So we've got Global Food at Leeds, we've got UK Food Science, we've got Food Science and Nutrition at Leeds. There also is there another Instagram page, Alex, Joe?
No, but there's on Spotify, there's Leeds Digest, which is our student-led
Amazing
podcast.
Do
if
you
they
want to pop that in the
listen to
chat?
I can
Yeah.
do, yes.
Thank you. And that is the end of this. So I'm going to stop recording. What did I do? Yeah.